Electronisounds Audio, the YouTube channel for you.
Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Dean from Electronisounds. Stick around. Today I'm going to show you how you can connect up your iPad to your Mac and use Beatmaker 3 to enter MIDI notes inside of Ableton Live. Stick around, guys. Let's get into this. Just want to let everybody know right off the jump that this one today is for Mac only. The method to connect your iPad to a PC isn't quite as simple and straightforward as this, so this is going to be for Mac users only. Sorry, PC users. We're also not worried about taking any audio out of the iPad today. Today we're just focusing on getting MIDI out of the iPad and into Ableton Live so that we can control things via MIDI and Beatmaker 3. To be honest, guys, if I want to get audio out of Beatmaker 3, I'm just going to render that audio to a loop and then upload it to the cloud and download it into my Mac, or maybe airdrop it over to my Mac. I'm typically not going to record stuff through cables if I can avoid having to record it through cables, and I'll just render it inside of the device itself and take that extra step to get that perfect crystal clean render. First thing we're going to do today, guys, is we'll just hook up the iPad to the Mac, and we're going to use an Anker brand USB-C cable to do this. I really like these Anker cables. I think this one is like a 5-foot cable, and it's like a braided cable, super heavy duty. I'm just going to plug this right into the back of the Mac. And the first thing we'll need to do is make a setting inside of the Mac to let it know that we want the iPad to be an audio MIDI device. We're going to go ahead and open up our internal hard drive. We're going to go to the Applications folder. In here, we're going to scroll down and we're going to go to the Utilities folder. Inside of the Utilities folder, we're going to open up the Audio MIDI Setup app. And here, the iPad Pro is just showing up here on the left-hand side. And all we have to do is click the Enable button and wait for that to enable the iPad as an audio MIDI device for the Mac. We're good to go there. Let's get into Beatmaker 3, and I'll show you guys the settings we need to make to get this going. We'll go ahead and start with a brand new session inside of Beatmaker 3 today, new session, and we'll go ahead and go over to the Documents folder, and we're going to look for a sample that we can drop onto one of these pads. The first thing we'll need to do is activate the pads. They don't actually, activate by default. We're just going to go ahead and we're just going to drop a sound onto these. Doesn't really matter what the sound is that you drop onto there. What it does matter is that you go into the sampler window and turn the gain down on that sample so that we're not actually hearing the sample playback, that we're just sending MIDI information. While we're in the sampler window, we'll go ahead and click these 3 dots here and set up the MIDI information. We're going to click the MIDI setup button, and we're going to choose under MIDI output, we're going to choose port, and we're going to choose the IDAM MIDI host as our port. We're going to go ahead and go back here to the gear icon inside of Beatmaker 3. And here we have our MIDI input devices, our MIDI sync, and our MIDI output devices. We just want to make sure that MIDI output device is set to IDAM MIDI host, and that's turned on for syncing. And that all looks good to go there. We're going to go ahead and go back to our pad screen and select keys mode. That way we're actually sending MIDI notes. One of the benefits to doing this is that you can put Beatmaker 3 into scales mode if you're not real music theory handy, and you can enter the notes for using whatever scale you'd like to make sure that you're staying in key. Let's go ahead and open up Ableton Live now on the Mac. And we'll go ahead and get this signed to a plugin inside of Ableton Live. Right off the jump, I'll just delete some of these tracks that load up. And so we're down to just one MIDI track here. I'm just going to go to my plugins, and I'll just grab, I don't know, for the purposes of this, let's just grab Serum and drop it onto that MIDI track, right? Okay, so here's a instance of Serum, and we're going to go ahead and click Command and comma to get our preferences screen open up in Ableton. We'll see right off the jump that down here at the bottom, the iPad is highlighted to track MIDI input, and if I hit the pads inside of Beatmaker 3, the little MIDI notification light is lighting up inside of Ableton, letting us know that it's already receiving MIDI information from the iPad. Now all we need to do to play Serum is just activate the track at the bottom of Ableton here by clicking the record button, and there we go. There we're controlling a virtual instrument you know, using Beatmaker 3. The reason that I'm interested in setting stuff up like this, guys, instead of maybe using a regular MIDI controller like a push-to or like a Novation launch key or something, is, I mean, this is a touchscreen interface and it's got, you know, scales mode. By default, I'm going to come up with different results using something like this than I would using like a push-to or using like the launch key. And that's what I'm really after at the end of the day. I'm after a different journey to get to that same destination, just being creative and using the tools in, you know, different creative ways, trying to achieve different creative results at the end of the day. I find this super, super useful and a really unique way to try to control and program stuff in Ableton Live. I hope you guys have found this useful, and until next time, thanks for watching. The first time that I hooked this up, I was concerned about the time that I was spending getting lost into the setup because I was worried about the battery of the iPad. But when I stopped working, I realized that actually the iPad is being charged the whole time while this is going. So no worries there. Just the one cable gets you MIDI and you're getting the iPad charged as well. Super cool.